Hi guys, welcome to a special episode of Fly Over the Word. Now it's time to get into what's in the suitcase. So we got a tomato, an onion, an apple, and we also got some water. There's something else too. We got some chips, soda, M&Ms, and cookies. Do you know what we're talking about today? You're going to have to make a choice between healthy or unhealthy. Someone else is going to have to make a choice too. Do you know who? Hey guys, remember my question? Are you going to eat healthy or unhealthy foods? Well, that person who had to decide that was also Daniel and his friends. Daniel and his friends had to decide to eat healthy or unhealthy foods. That decision also reflected on are they going to obey God or are they going to disobey God? So Israel was disobeying God, and that meant that God said that they will be put into captivity and Babylon would rule over them if they kept on disobeying. And Israel kept on disobeying. So they got put into captivity over Babylon was over them. So almost everybody in Israel had to go over to Babylon to be ruled over. But Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were chosen to serve in the king's court. The reason they chose them was because they were handsome, intelligent, wise, and able to serve. They had to train for 3 years. But remember when we were talking about healthy and unhealthy foods? Well, this is where that applies in, because the king wanted them to eat fancy and food and drink wine. But Daniel knew that was not right, and that would be disobedient to God. So what he did is he asked the commander and said, "This is not what my God would want me to eat." He said, "Can I eat vegetables and water?" And the commander said, "No," because the commander might have got killed because he wasn't supposed to let him do that. And also because if they ate something else, they might not become strong and healthy. But Daniel ate and drank water and vegetables like God wanted him to. And the commander said that if you do this for the next 10 days and you're healthy, after those 10 days, then I'll keep on serving you that. So then that they ate and drank vegetables and water, and the thing is, the vegetables and water weren't what made them strong and healthy. It was God's power. So then after that, they were strong and healthy, and the commander let them eat vegetables and water the rest of the time they were there. See you at our experiment. Hi guys, so today's experiment is on disobedience and obedience. So where I am going to light this first match here. And as you see, once I lit that first match, then it started a chain where all the other matches started to light. So this person was being disobedient, which started a chain of disobedience. But you separated yourself and then started a chain of obedience towards God. This is what Daniel did when he was eating. Remember when he was eating the food and drinking, when he was supposed to be eating that fancy food and drinking that wine, he separated himself and made sure he was eating vegetables and water. And then his friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego followed and did the same. And this is one way we can show disobedience, a disobedience chain, and then stop and show how we can show obedience. I wonder what we can learn from this Bible lesson today. Well, we can learn that we can separate ourselves by when people are showing disobedience to God, we can stop and start showing obedience to God. And we can lead by example from what the Bible says and show other people how to show obedience to God. Another way Daniel showed obedience was in our story. The king was serving wine and fancy food, but that's not what God wanted Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to eat. He wanted them to eat healthy food like vegetables and water. So Daniel went through the right people and talked to the commander and made a plan so that he could eat what God wanted them to eat. And he was showing obedience to God by eating and drinking vegetables and water.